All right, time for the daily break and run. Straight pool break and run today. Going to start from my favorite break shot under the rack and 3 rails out to the center of the table. Decent break. The 13 is in position to re-break the rack, and that's what I'm going to end up having to do. But first, I want to get a good angle on it. So I'm going to start with the 7, and then my idea here is that I'll shoot the 11 and roll forward, but I get the wrong angle on the 11. So I go after the ball up there at the top of the table. Now I'm kind of straight on the 14. I'm a little bit too much angle. If I'm going to try to slow roll this for position on the 13, I roll a little bit too far, but that's okay. Um, I can just shoot the 11 in the side and stun up the table, and I get the angle on the 13. Now, I'm careful not to overhit it, which leaves me a long shot, but that's okay. Now I'm going to shoot the 13 in and drive through the rack. Okay, not ideal, um, but I did get a couple of balls out to work with. So I'm going to use this 3. I'm going to try to run up into the 4 balls there, and I hit the 6 exactly dead to pick it out of the center of the rack, or the center of the group without moving the rest of the group. I really wanted to hit and move the 15 up and push things around. So now 4 ball come around the 5. Now the 5 is my break shot right now. The 10 is potentially a break shot if I move it up a little bit. I'm thinking here about cutting the 10 in, but I really need to get these balls broken up. So I'm just going to take the 5 and take my chances on being able to move the 10. Force follow this around and try to break up the 9-12 because I've got a good angle for it. And I get it, and I get the shot where you cut back in the corner and run the cue through the middle. This is going to hit the 15 and the 8, and it's going to allow the 10 to move out a little bit. So the 10 is a little low. If you look at the rack, you see the 3 dots coming down the center line of it. Well, the bottom dot is the middle of the bottom row, and so the 10 is actually below the bottom row. I'm going to have to move it up. This has just gotten kind of touchy. I'm going to have to pull off a hero shot here somewhere. Um, so my first thought is I'm going to take this 15 and come up for the 12 and leave myself a little bit of angle and maybe try to bump the 8 out, but I don't get any angle. I end up dead straight in. So now I've got to figure this out because I'm going to have to shoot the 12. The 6 ball at the top of the table is my key ball, and the 10 is my break ball. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get either the 8 up into a break position or the 10 up into a break position. And I'm straight in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of aim for that 50-yard line. You see where I'm aiming there. I can either be on that side where I just aimed and shoot the 8 in the corner and go off the end rail and up and bump the 10 up, or I can go off the 10 if I'm on the other side of the midline of the 10, go off the 10 and bump the 8 out. The 10 is preferable, and that's what I'm going to end up shooting. Now I'm a little bit above the middle of the rack. Uh, you can see the big black dot that marks the middle of the rack. I'm above the middle of the rack, so this is a break shot. I just need to shoot the 6, come a little bit off the rail. I don't want to overhit this because if I overhit it, then I could end up coming out and not having a break. So I have a break. It's a very long break, but it's a really good angle. So if I get this, I'm going to have to hit it hard because I'm all the way down the table. But if I can get this, I should have a good break. And there it is. So starting to take my lap, I immediately notice that if I shoot the 1 and stop the cue, I'll be able to take the 8 in the corner and drive the cue through the rack and break it the rest of the way out. So that's my plan here. Stop the cue ball. That's perfect. I'm going to come through the middle of the rack and I'm going to hit the 13. Not quite the breakout I wanted, but it's good enough. Right now I've got a choice of break shots in the 4 or the 14. I kind of like the 4 better because the 13 makes a great key ball for the 4. And I've got the 6 as a key ball on the 14, so now I'm just going to work my way through the rack. Play the 3, nice soft hit. Don't take any chances shooting off the bridge. I'm going to shoot this 2. I'm going to bump the 14 up a little because the 14, it's a good break shot, but it's a little bit low on the rack for where I like to make contact. So I'm going to bump the 14 up just a hair and play the 9 in the corner afterwards. So I'm thinking my way through this. Right now, the 14 and the 4 are roughly equivalent as break shots. If I can bump the 14 up just a little further, it becomes a great break shot. But my big concern right now is that 15 and the 7. Now I wanted to bump off of the 7. I didn't. So I end up taking the 13. So now the 14 is my break shot. 14 is my break, and the 6 is my key ball. I do want to move the 14 just a little bit further up if I can. I don't have to, but if I can get it to do it, then great. And I got an opportunity here because I've got the 11 that I need to get out anyhow. Now the 14 is absolutely an ideal break shot. So I'm going to take the 11 and I'm going to come up. I need to get the 15-7 taken care of. And that's what's really on my mind. So I overhit this a little, and this is where I start making mistakes. I am so committed to the 15-7 that I'm going to take the 15 here. What I should do is shoot the 4 in the corner, stop the ball, maybe back it up a little, shoot the 15 in the side, draw back 7 in the side, draw back 5 in the corner, and then come around for the 6 in the bottom left corner. Instead, I shoot that 15 and push the 7 out. Okay, so I'm still okay, but that was really a mistake, and that really got me into a bad place here. So I'm going to shoot the 7, the idea being 7, 5, 4, 6, and then the 14 to break. So I'm on the 5 the way I want to be. I'm a little close to the rail, so I'm going to have to jack up a bit. And I overhit this. Now this is the next big mistake, and this one costs me the run. Um, I should not be drawing this ball. I should be running forward and shooting the 6 up in the top. Instead, I try to draw and I come across the line instead of into the line. And then I go over and look at this, and the 14 has half the pocket. If I can pocket the 6 here, I'll be okay. I'll have a perfect break shot, but I've only got half a pocket, and it's going to have to be really, really, really precise. Um, it's got just enough to be makeable, but it has to be perfect. I'm a little discouraged, and I rush this shot. You'll see when I get down there, I basically one-stroke this shot, and I miss it. Ends the run. Had I made that, look at the leave on the 14. That would have been a great break